Evening, everyone. Welcome to the Man of Thought, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria, aka the Villain of Truth. Today is going to be um, a different subject. I should have put out a notification that I'll be coming live by 7 p.m. today. Though I think I told people that I'll be coming live today by 7 p.m. And today's topic, like I promised, that we are going to touch on Black American success, the success of Black Americans that Africans may most likely not be aware of. Hmm. Today's one is going to be very funny. I've been doing a lot of research on this particular stuff, trying to gather data, do a lot of stuff based off what is available online. Whatever my hands can get into, from ChatGPT to looking at what did they call it? I've even forgotten the name. I was supposed to write it down. I went through some sites to make certain verification on few things. But when it comes to the Black American culture now, it seems as if anything that is about Black American culture, you can't really get fact again when you go on live. Oh wait, sorry, when you go online. Trust me, if my brain is not too balanced or my words are staggering today, try to understand that it is basically because I've been stressed out today. If you kind of joined me earlier yesterday, I spoke about a subject when I said that while I was talking about my vision in life is to die a happy man, when I was talking about that subject, a call came in yesterday, and I told you that that call was from an officer, law enforcement. They call them patrol team. So this patrol team, we were supposed to get certain individuals arrested yesterday in our estate. So that was where I was. I've been in the station since morning. Not quite long I came back, but I was like, oh, I have to talk about this subject this evening, and then we rub minds. We might most likely talk about any other thing, but I would make sure that at least I try to debunk this aspect of certain informations I got. I'm not going to be relenting anytime soon on the issue of Black American Union and Africans. So for sure, that is one of my priority, regardless of the fact that I would bounce sometimes on every other subject, religion, and the rest of it. But let's ask ourselves today, how did today go? For me, the situation is that I'm fighting for was that there's a guy in the estate I'm talking about. This particular same estate, I've been saying that they put people in jail if you buy property from them. They are capable of doing a lot of things to the investors. There's an individual who bought a property, and this guy was enjoying building his property. He only got a land, unlike we who bought building. He bought a land and he started building. And then the engineer they put in the estate begin to ask them for some kind of payment, extra money, that if he has to work in his own site, buying from the company, if he has to work there, he has to pay the engineer. In fact, he told him that he is the landlord of every single one of us who purchased property here, and we are his tenants. Whatever he says, that's fine now. Along the line, he begin to assault the workers of the man that they are supposed to give him the contract. They were selling few things for that man, materials for building materials and the rest of it. It got to a particular place, it became worse, that the man was like, you guys are adding excessive bill on whatever I'm purchasing from you. And the man decided to get it elsewhere. And before you know, they formed out a narration that the man was buying a stolen property, that cement that was stolen. They arrest the man, not with police. So they put laws in their hand and they kidnap the man. They put gun on his head, take him into a bush, ask him to transfer the sum of 500,000, which he did. They force him to write an undertaking that is going to pay the sum of 3 million, which he did. But the man knows nobody within this particular side of the state. He has nobody here. And certain individuals were passing and they realized what was going on when he started narrating the whole story of what happened to him. Then people said, we have a Messiah in this estate. Do you know the Messiah? He said, no. So certain people came to meet me and then they told me that this guy is having a particular issue. Let me listen to it. And I love trouble. Trouble is my second nature. Not because I want to fight, but whenever I see corruption or wherever I see problem, I'm just like, once it tends to be like you are intimidating someone else, me, I will carry it on my head. Yoruba will say, ẹni mú wàhálà tiẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ tó fa tẹlòmíì sórí. That means I am having my own load to carry, but I will carry somebody else's load on my head and I will drag mine with my hands. Then we took this case to the station, and then things are unfolding little by little. In fact, they would have turned the whole case. As we are seeing the case now, the person that came to claim that they sold his own material is most likely not the owner of the material. It was like they framed him up to collect that money from him. Sometimes this is why it is important that wherever you go, even for the fact that you are in Nigeria, you need to have somebody, you need to make more research. If not because of me or by God's grace, the same guy of mine would have been in jail. Yoruba will say ọ̀rọ̀ burúkú tó ń tẹ̀. But I was glad every single time I find people in situations like this and God can intervene and help me to be able to liberate those people. It is a blessing and an honor that at least my life is a service to those around me and those who I can meet. So when I came back, I was already tired. Hola Web3, welcome boss. Been a while. Welcome. So as I came back, I decided to go into some of the conversations that we have been talking about, make a little bit more research before I come live and talk to you guys. So I will be discussing on a few things. I don't know how long I will be taking, but I would like to relax. In fact, as I speak to you, immediately I came back because I was so much in a hurry. I did not even off my shoe. This is inside my room. I had to wear my shoe and enter. Like, I must not disappoint my people. I already told them 7 p.m. before they get upset. So they don't get upset and then they unsubscribe. Those who make decisions to become members, they should not get angry and say, oh, we are no more going to be members again. Maliko Sondaya. So that's why I'm here. And I did some research and I combined it with few things that I've done in the past. With that being said, here we have few things we need to look at, my people. Still on the matter, still on the issue of the Black America and the Africans, we would be looking into those particular stuff. And I am pleading, Biko. Biko simply means please. Those who have ideas to support the conversation should please put in their ideas. It is important. I am running a race that I don't know how far I would run, but I'm willing to go the distance. I know at some point we would need support. I know at some point we will need people to speak up. I know at some point we would need a panel to have great conversation and discussion on this particular subject that matters. So welcome everyone once more to the Man of Thought. How did your day go? Hope you enjoyed your day. Today is Wednesday. Hope you're doing great, everyone. Please, if there's anything you want to ask before we proceed into the conversation about the man of thought, about situations, anything, about any question, stuff that is going on in your mind, and you want to hear my insight on it, or you have an opinion regarding any subject that we have discussed in the past, you are free to ask it right now. Right now, you are free to do that. I'll be, should I be giving about 30 seconds to see if there's anything anyone wants to ask, or should we proceed on the conversation for today and see where it leads us? Please, my audience, let somebody be willing to talk to me so I know what is in your mind. If whatever conversation I have has to do with only one person, or it can hit to only one individual, that is a change of itself. Do we proceed on today's conversation, or is there something that anyone would like to share with me? How did your day all went? Please, I'm waiting. It seems there's none. Do we proceed on today's conversation then? There are stories everywhere. But you see, one of the things about news is you have to be careful what you listen to, because certain people, the only thing that draws their attention is negative news. For me, I just try to find a way to view everything and walk through the paths that I think that can be a blessing to all my kind and every other kind that matters. Okay, now no talk. Then it means say make I proceed on today's conversation. Alhamdulillah. Before we proceed, please, I will need one more like or two more likes on the screen right now before we proceed on today's conversation. Ejo, big no. We have 12 people joining me live. Let two people. Oh, one person has make it four. One more person. One more person. And let's make it five so we proceed on today's conversation. Leke. La. Please, I'm waiting. One more like. And if you are seeing five over there and I haven't seen it, please, someone can indicate through the chat, because sometimes there's always a delay. One more like. One more like. And we proceed in today's conversation. One more. One more like. Here. Luku, luku, luku. Lafu, lafu, lafu. Shey I no know wetin dem dey do inside politicians. Luku, luku, luku. Lafu, lafu, lafu. Police uniform come important pass food for dis country. Luku, luku, luku. Lafu, lafu, lafu o. I'm waiting for one more like for us to proceed in today's conversation. We have 18 people joining me live. One more like. One more like. Don't be greedy. Like does not cost anything. Sharing love does not cost that much. One more like. Let's proceed on today's conversation. Or wait first, is it EFCC that is watching me, or is it Nigerian police force? If it's Nigeria Police Force, are you looking for me? My place is not far. I'm very easy to be targeted. You can target and you can get me. So if you are not a law enforcement, when I say there should be 5 people that will show like, it is a request. It is not a demand. It is a request. And some people will just stay on their screen and be looking. Just to show love becomes an issue. Mathematical calculation. Kilo fa, kilo fa, kilo re, kilo fa, kilo re. Beyond the scene, kilo re. I like the way you sing, kilo re, kilo fa, kilo re. One more like. If you think you are stubborn, me too, I will show you people that I'm very stubborn. I will not proceed. Just know that you are using data as I am wasting data. You like me, you came to watch what I am saying, and then I say, with them one like the Igbos, with them one like, and one person cannot click the like. You don't want to like me. You will like me by force. Hey, wait first. My good friend Ezigwe Nimo. My son kept this cap here. So I like the African things. When I look like this, it trickles me. One more like and for us to proceed on today's conversation. We have 20 people. One more like na atoko. One more like. If you do not answer me, let me bring out my charm. These are cowries. Oh, Maliko Sondaya. I wanted to call the ancestors. I wanted to invoke the ancestors. God save us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Man of Thought. Take life easy and do not say fail to the end, because while there is life, there is hope. Thank you, Constitution Andy. Thanks for joining. Let's look on life as a game where it is not a continuous round of sorrow or joy. But while playing, be careful not to fall, for he who is falling finds fewer friends and little mercy. That's the reality of nature. Before we fully enter this subject, the subject is that I said we need to say good things. We need to find the good things about the Black Americans. And the idea is this. Few days ago, we started discussing on Black American and Africa simply because there's an ideology that we need the Black Americans to come back to Africa, those who actually came from Africa, and due to colonization, some of our brothers and sisters who have been taken out of the country, and some of them have never been home for a very long time. As I started this YouTube channel, I begin to realize that some of them are interested in coming, but there is this stigma that they have. There's a perception that African use in seeing them. And I'm like, one of the problem of African countries is that we always hold on to our leaders on every situation, when we should be showing each other love, when we should be welcoming our brothers and sisters who have intelligence on other things, who have been able to make other things happen in different areas. In fact, I haven't even gone deep, but instinctively, I knew that our Black brothers and sisters outside the country are doing well. But the question is this: why would those people be making decisions to want to come back to Africa? That was a question. And I saw that if one is on earth and is wishing to go to heaven, it's because earth is not pleasing to the person. The person feels like He's not getting what he needs to get on earth. That is the reason why some people commit suicide. In their mind, they want to go to heaven. So, but what we understand about the culture of Africans is this. There's a man they call Sanso Town, a musician. He's a late musician. May so rest in peace. He sang a song. He said, Ajo le dabile, no matter where you go, make you no forget area. Oh. Ajo le dabile, that means a journey cannot look like a home. So no matter where you find yourself, you must always remember your home. And I believe that most of the Black Americans knew that African is their home, regardless of the fact that they've been lost for a very long time. And they're like, we see our brothers and sisters come from Africa coming to meet us here to continue the struggle. We understand the struggle. We also want to go back home. They welcome our brothers and sisters. It is rare for you to see an African person go out of the country and they complain about racism or whatever and whatever. No, Africans do not complain. Nigerians specifically, they may tell you, oh, you have an image of this. They perceive us as scammers and the rest of it. That's fair enough. It doesn't stop us from succeeding. Nigerians are still one of the most flamboyant people. But when it comes to majority of people going to the Western culture, we are kind of being welcomed one way. But when it comes to those people, the blacks, our brothers and sisters over there coming here, there's always story. And then we started talking about how do we fix this bridge gap. I also observe that based on the males in Black culture that I know, that's in the Western culture, they are always, most of them do not have challenges of when they come to Africa. They are being welcomed. But most of the women that are our sisters over there, when they want to come, those are the people that most likely have issues. And then I begin to make some research and I saw that the reason was basically because they've kind of destroyed, in a sense, they've destroyed the home of the Black people. And the men are beginning to walk away from the country. And now the only people that are left are the women. So they are painting certain image about the Black women over there. And those are the image Africans sees. And that's the reason why we are not embracing them fully. Some of them have good success. Some of them have good experience with Africa, but majority of them do not. So I spoke about the negative perception of how we see the Black Americans. I spoke about the negative things of how the Africans might be perceived by the Black Americans. And today I said, I will talk about the good things about Black America, and then I will talk about the good things about Africa. Then let us reason together and put in conversations after conversations. Let us put our head together. Every contribution is needed while we look into the subject and make sure that we make this all known rather than we twerking, or you see the new program that goes on for people to be able to have good relationship and to date Black men and Black women. You see people put mic on your hand and they call it balloon pop. So when you come in, they begin to pop the balloon. Po, 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 po. Why don't you want this man? He's too short. Why don't you want this man? He's too tall. Why don't you want this man? She's too fat. She's too slim. One boobs is bigger than the other. All kinds of excuse. We are rather doing things on social media to demonize us as Africans and as Black Americans. Black Americans are also Africa, but I'm just using the statement to make a little bit of distinction because these are the union of people that are trying to come together. So rather than us polluting our image, why not we find other things that we can do? Because here's my own reason. I understand, based on my environment, that most Western people who have been able to confide in Africa and have been able to invest in Africa, they make more progress than our expectation of the government. So my question is like, what if we can use the intelligence of these people and we can use our own intelligence also to work together we might be able to make Africa a great country. But as I begin to make this research, I begin to see something else. What my eyes is not supposed to see, that's what my eyes begin to see. I had someone who joined me. We spoke to length on Sunday. Over 2,500 people were joining us live while we discussed about racism, spirituality, tradition and culture, and the rest of it. And the person pointed out few things to me, and I begin to make more digging. In fact, part of the newest oracle we have on today's earth planet is ChatGPT. If the oracle of our ancestors in the past does not answer us as fast as we need, ChatGPT is better than Google. And then I question ChatGPT, I question Google, I question everything to just have a great answer. And the answers I found, even while I had an intention to talk about the good things of Black America, wasn't that palatable. Now, while we continue on it, I first of all ask myself, what are the perceptions of Black Americans on Africa? Now, part of the things research I was able to figure out is that there is this number one, I call it primitive or backward. That means they have a perception in their education system and the way media portray Africa to them is that there's lack of infrastructure and Africa is underdeveloped country. But for those of us who are in Africa, we know that there are places in Africa that are beautiful cities. But this is the perception they gave to them, that we are backward, we have lack of infrastructure, and we are underdeveloped. Secondly, I realized that part of the perception they give the Black Africans or Black Americans or the Westerns about Africa is that we are uncivilized and we are savage. That means they just gave this racist propaganda about Africa, that we are uncivilized, we are not educated. Look at me the way I act. Look at me the way I dress. Shouldn't you know that I have my PhD, OPC, PDP, APC, and the rest documentation that makes someone look educated? In fact, is that what makes you educated? Two-Face says to be civilized, you don't have to be educated. But they make us seem as if we are barbaric. Well, I'm not a graduate. I am not even interested in being a graduate. Education, I have seen so many indoctrination that even though I have every opportunity to get educated, all I see is that most educated people now work like, I don't want to, so they don't feel offended, but to the next one, part of the things, perception they have about us is that there's poverty and suffering in Africa. You keep looking at these things I'm listing about how Black Americans perceive Africa. I did many research, ChatGPT answer, Google answer, Wikipedia answer. I went into different sites to see how Black Americans perceive Africa. They see us as we are very poor and wretched. They will not show that I even have very beautiful necklace, I have beads. No, they just show us like we don't have anything. Then they gave a perception. Let me just take this one out, which is lack of education or ignorance. That means we are the most ignorant people on the surface of this earth. Everything they are saying about us, here's what I perceive. It is meant for them not to have interest to come back to their roots. But the question is this: if the Westerners who took our brothers and sisters to America, if they were taking good care of our brothers and sisters, why would they want to come to Africa? Why would they be thinking of coming to Africa? But they begin to think about it because of a lot of stuff, which I will touch on it. So they give them the fact that we lack education and we are ignorant. Then they give them a perception that we are tribalism, that is tribalistic, and conflict. That means constantly we are being tribalistic. Like you cannot go anywhere, there's always tribalism everywhere. Then they give inferior complex. The idea of the inferior complex is to say that our men are superior, our women are inferior. Those are part of the perception they give them. So it looks as if African men do not have equality with their women. Trust me, I do not understand everything about equality, which I have heard people talk about equality of opportunity. We all have it in Africa, but equality of outcome, that is impossible. And in the culture and traditions of Africa, we don't want our women to do certain things, not because we stop them, but because if we find them doing certain things, a lot of us will step back from them because we understand the consequences of what they are doing. So, part of the things they give us, perception they have is that we are scammers and we are dishonest. So, that means even me now that I'm speaking to you guys, if you are in the Western culture, that means I'm also a scammer and we are dishonest. So, in fact, it is all of us in Africa. Then they gave them another idea about disease and poor hygiene. That means we are sick. Looking at me, do I look sick? Yes, I look sick. I won't lie to you, I look sick because I've been stressed today. But poor hygiene, don't use that one to play. Where yes, in every country there are places where people go through challenges, even in the Western culture, but they make us very believable. Then they talk about backward of gender roles. They talk about religious extremism. Then they talk about hostility or resentment towards Black America. And they overemphasize on tribal identity. Then they make them understand that we have victim mentality. Now, I then say that, oh, is this how Black Americans perceive Africa? That is how they do. Except for those who have been able to step out and, have engaged in one way or the other. Those are the people who have different perception. I now ask Google and I ask ChatGPT and I make a lot of research. And I said, okay, enough of the negative things about the Black American and the Africans. Let us even ask ourselves, what are the good things that Africans need to know about Black Americans? Let us see what is good about them. You will be shocked today. If you have never been shocked before, shock will owe you as we dive into the conversation. Please, for those who are watching, add more likes to hear what I have to say. Those of you who haven't subscribed, Bikonu, you have to subscribe. Because subsequently, we face conversations like this. Double tap your screen and like. Let's make the like complete 10. Biko, let us go about what are the good things that Africans are supposed to know about the Black American. I make all research. I did a lot of research in all areas possible to know good things about Black America. What they brought out, I wasn't expecting it. What the research found, I wasn't expecting it. But what I'm expecting is that somebody have to tap their screen now. Let me see 9 and 10 likes. I'm waiting. Luku, luku, luku. Lafu, lafu, lafu. Che, no, no. Waiting them they do inside our country. Luku, luku, luku. Lafu, lafu, lafu. Oh. I'm waiting, oh. Luku, luku, luku. Lafu, lafu, lafu. Say, no, no. Waiting them they do inside our country. Luku, luku, luku. I say 2 like. 2 like. Add 2 like. Let us make it 10. All right. All right? Please do. Please do. Don't delay. Don't delay. You people are the one delaying us. Let two people show love. Two people. Iwájú ọpọ́n ẹ̀yìn ọpọ́n. If you people will not agree, I will turn herbalist for you guys. Olùmúlọ̀tún ọ̀rọ̀gbọ̀rọ̀ lòsì. Àrí ìta ìta ọ̀run. This one they call it is it alligator pepper? Alligator pepper. This alligator pepper. This is bitter cola. This one is already corrupt. It's now soft. Oh yeah, Constitution Andy is telling you people, come on guys, let's go. Double tap your screen. Let us discover. You know, this is what I will do. The Bible, when the angel went to the land of Lot, and God was bargaining with Abraham, after various numbers, God was even asking Abraham, he said, if I can find one person who is righteous and holy, because of that person, I would forgive Sodom and Gomorrah. But he couldn't find anyone. Because of Constitution Andy, I would only request for one. One more like. Have some people like to support? I always say it that it seems as if when I speak, EFCC are the ones watching me, or Nigeria law enforcement. You know, I always bring them out. I used to expose them too. And due to the fact that I am having court case with some of these liars who call themselves real estate investors or real estate organization, now that we are in courts, now they are looking for evidence after the first allegation they've laid on me. They don't have any evidence, so they are always watching me on screen. There is no time I come to live, one or two of them would come on live to come and be peeping and be watching what I'm saying, so that they can have evidence. And the evidence I have over them is yapasios. Is yapasios. You know what is the meaning of yapasios? It is too much. I have too much evidence. So if you are watching me, I know. So those are the people I would think they may not want to like. And those law enforcement that I'm going to expose, I've exposed some, and I will expose more. In fact, when I started today, I told you about the guy that I am helping today, that I went to the station before I came back this evening. I took him to one of those stations that I've been talking about. And you know, I'm kind of crazy a little bit. When I make video about law enforcement that are corrupt in Africa or in Nigeria, and I tell you the area they come from, I will now share the video and share it to those same police officers in that station. I will share it to all of them. Funny enough, last week Friday, we went to one of those stations and they've been watching my videos. So I brought the case to them. Then I said, I'm going to give you guys money so you guys can help this my friend. They did not receive the money. The same people who would have collected money from me, if you give them 10,000, they will say, bring 20,000, bring 30,000, bring 40,000. They went to meet their oga. Their oga said, no, nobody must collect penny from me. That is the blessing behind YouTube, or being, you know, when they know you are having some numbers. I will correct some people's head. If you think your power is about gun and bullet, kill me, let me see. So you guys have decided not to like Abi. Are you people testing me? That he will say it. He will say what he wants to say. Show me 2 likes. I'm even angry. My man, Abi are the best. Welcome, sir. Yup. Well done. Oh, Maliko Sondaya. Now let's go into the conversation for today. I don't calm down. Oh. I no get wahala. But you know, say Nigerian police, you must not play with them, or else they be wahala themselves. So back to the subject that we are talking about. I made a little bit of research. I would say I dig a little bit deep beyond the normal way I would do more research, just to be able to find good things about Black America. Now, hear carefully what they had to say that are the good things about Black America. First thing they said is they have rich history of resilience and innovation. Please, Africans, please, Black Americans, I want you to pay attention. And I want you also to go back and do your own research. What are the good things about Black America, or what are the things that Africans or others should know about Black Americans that are the success of Black American people? They say rich history of resilience slash innovation. What's the meaning of that? Rich history, resilience. Why would resilience and rich history and innovation, why would they be? Let us focus on the word rich history and resilience. Why would they be in that subject, in that category of the good things about Black American success of Black America? Now, if you put resilience there, what you are actually saying indirectly is that you are oppressing them. Please, if I'm wrong, correct me. Anybody can correct me. Do you know traffic light was from a Black American? Traffic lights, my brother, by Morgan. Morgan was the one who did it. So you see it, I wrote it out. Morgan was the one who did traffic lights. Do you know that even blood banks was by Black American, Charles Drew? So trust me, we are coming. Resilience. If you pick the success of a human being based of resilience, it simply means that those people are being oppressed. So that means that we would have wiped Black Americans out, but their success is because they are so resilient. That means despite the fact we try to wipe them out, they are not going. Please, if I'm saying anything that doesn't make sense, please call me out. Oh. A sensible man can say senseless things sometimes. And I am not looking at myself as any perfect human being. I call myself the man of thought, not the perfect man. So I wrestle with my thoughts. So, rich history. What is the thing that is rich about the history of Black Americans? We will get there. Then they speak about innovation and success that isn't always highlighted. ChatGPT itself and the rest of it, they say that they are success of the Black Americans that are not always being highlighted. How can I ask you a question to know about a particular culture in a particular country, and you are telling me, as ChatGPT, as internet, Google combined and everything, Wikipedia and the rest of it, you are even admitting to the fact that most of their successes are not being highlighted. So that means there's a deliberate action to make sure that good things about you are not out. How many of us know bad things about Black Americans? We can always say that they twerk, 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 twerk. The guys are carrying gun, poop, 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 poop. The ladies are into slut and the rest of it. Those are the perception they give us. So you are not bringing out the full picture about Black Americans. So you are not highlighting the good things about them. You mostly focus on the negative things. So we need to be very aware that they are painting our brothers and sisters bad. Fulani at work again. We will come back to that. Oh, they always say things like this, but they are not as rampant as you are thinking. Trust me, if there's Fulani in Ogun State, they will be wiped out immediately. It wouldn't take time. I am at Ogun State as I speak to you. So the second thing they talk about, the Black American have made significant contributions on technology, science, and medicine. They say Black American have made significant contributions in technology, science, and medicine. Then they say part of the things they've done in science, in technology, is traffic light by Morgan. And then they say someone also who started the innovation of from the medicine part is blood banks being invented by Charles Drew, by a Black American. These are the two things they say. Now they also talk about large enterprises like Johnson Publishing Company and BET. Now that BET, I was unable to make more research to understand if that BET is BET award. Large enterprise. You call it large enterprise like Johnson, and you say the large enterprise is about a publishing company and BET. It baffles me in a way. If you ask about the richness of African culture, you will get a different answer. Completely. You are going to see what success really means. But when you are talking about the success of Black American, it looks as if there's a deliberate attack on them. And now for you not to be able to bring out anything very substantial with all the research I did, you talk about large enterprises like Johnson, publishing company. What is publishing company? Like BET. Okay. Black America produced influential cultural icons. Please, I want you to listen to this statement as I am bringing them out. They say Black America produced influential cultural icons in music, film, and art. Now, if you listen to the word carefully, Black America produced influential cultural icons in music. They didn't say that Black America own music. They didn't say Black America own films like Hollywood. They didn't say Black America own art. They didn't say, they only say, and the influence of jazz, hip hop, R&B. And then they even include Beyonce, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar. Constitution and it says Charles Drew is not Black. Why did ChatGPT tell you he was? Because ChatGPT is also confused. Now I'm here to make more research on that, but I ask few questions here and there, and I ask what are the sources from different sources. But ChatGPT gave this particular answer of Charles Drew. So I will still do more digging on that. Then the third, but I want you to look at this one that I mentioned right now when I said Black America produced influential cultural icons in music. They didn't say they own music. They didn't say they own film. They didn't say they own art. They produced influential cultural icons. And that is to tell us that something is wrong somewhere. Now, thirdly, they talk about historically Black colleges and universities. That's HBCUS. Have been instrumental in educating generations of Black leaders, professionals, intellectuals. Now, why are they not even naming the fact that Blacks own these things? Because it seems they don't own anything. Then they talk about one of their success, which is civil rights movement led by Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Rosa Parks. Please, how do we call this success? This look like, just so that you don't have, you don't say that there's nothing about the Black Americans, that you actually want the world to know that is part of their success. It seems as if you don't have any good thing to say about them. Now, they also talk about Black middle class. They talk about the fact that Black billionaires like Oprah Winfrey and Robert F. Smith. In Africa, we have multiple billionaires. But when they would bring out their own billionaires, they only mention two, Oprah Winfrey and Robert F. Smith. Please, so you can help me do a search, maybe Robert F. Smith too. Maybe that one too is not Black. Then I now ask a question. The question that I said, what percentage of relationship in Black America are long-lasting relationship? Because the reason why I ask this question is to understand the dynamics of how the men and the women, how they correlate together, and what are their success in marriage, in relationship, in raising children. But the answers I got were stunning. What percentage of relationship in Black America are long-lasting relationship? That was the question I asked. And it says that general statistics among Black Americans, historically, Black Americans have faced unique social, economic, and systemic challenges. This is a question I ask. See the answer that they are giving. I repeat this question again. What percentage of relationship in Black America are long-lasting relationship? Here answer. General statistics among Black Americans. Historically, Black Americans have faced unique social, economic, and systemic challenges. So the best thing that every part of internet can say about the Black Americans is to talk about their resilience and their struggle. So that means there's not yet anything they can present to be these are their success. Now it says, according to studies, please, so this one is important. According to studies, half of Black marriages, that's Black American marriages, last over 20 years. According to studies, half of Black American marriages last over 20 years. 20 years. In Africa, more than 60% last for 50 years. More than 60% lasts more than 50 years. 20 years. Didn't it baffle me? It kind of changed my, like, I'm just like, wow. So 20 years is a success in marriage. See my question. See an answer. Then it says, while there is higher rate of single parents, which reflect on children, which simply means while there is higher rate of single parents that reflect on children, male, subsequently, the male who are with single parents most likely will go to prison. That means most single parents that have male children, their child will most likely go to prison because they will commit a crime. For the female, they most likely will get early pregnancy. With that being said, let us ask ourselves a question. Can't we see that there's a serious attack over the Black Americans? And trust me, this is not my style of conversation. I don't like the idea of playing the victim game. And in fact, I'm not part of the victim. But realistically, As Africans, we need to be aware that these are our brothers and sisters. And if the best that we can find out about them is this kind of success, as bad as Nigeria is, if you make research on Nigeria, only Nigeria, you will see plenty of success. This is the best that can come out when we talk about Black Americans. The reality is that Africans, we need to understand that if we would have to support, this is not about support. We don't necessarily have to look at it like we want to support the Black American. We have to look at it like it is our responsibility to welcome our brothers and sisters to our culture and to our tradition. We need to welcome them back to their roots, because where they find themselves, they are not being successful there. They just keep using them as labor. In fact, when I had conversation with the Enlightened One on Sunday, he pointed out clearly that if Africans go to Western country where they are blacks, they pay Africans more than they pay the blacks there. The people who are the real, who have been part of the citizens of the country, they pay them less and they pay Africans more. And I ask myself, if we think that that is a blessing, that is not a blessing. There's something fishy. If a white man or a black man or anyone can come from another country to Nigeria, for example, and that person is doing the same work as me and they are paying that person more, how will I act towards such thing? So I think that at this junction, I will be pleading with my audience. If you are Africa, I am pleading with you guys. Whatever method you think that you can use to assist this idea of those Black Americans who are willing to come, for us to be able to push this reality to the world and change the perception and welcome our brothers fully, because the only reason why America wouldn't, I shouldn't talk America before they block my YouTube channel. The reason why the Western culture are doing this is simply because they don't want them to come back home, and they understand that they are the one that are making the Western culture function. And to my own experience, it seems as if they want to wipe them out of the surface of the earth. So certain kind of people will be the one that will be controlling the Western world in the nearest future. And maybe they will tell Africans to come. Those of us who are receiving high pay right now as Africans going to the Western culture, after a period of time, we shouldn't be expecting this kind of money. Trust me, it is not a blessing. You know, there was something I used to tell people within this our estate. Then I say, when the real estate organization are messing up other people, some of you are clapping your hands. You are just like, oh, let me sit down. It's not my turn yet. A lot of them are paying the price right now. When we see them doing something to our brothers, rather than us to stand and find a way to make sure we protect our brothers and sisters, we are like, no, it's not us. It's not our problem. At least our life is fine. Trust me, it's a matter of time. It will reach our turn. With that being said, let us think. I would appreciate subsequently when we have conversations like this, those who are Western people who want to come and speak about their experience, please do come. I have opened my platform. There is no any individual who has ever chatted me on WhatsApp that I haven't responded to. Please, if there's anybody who has messaged me and I have not responded to that person, please call me out. There's no single individual. So if you talk to me and you say you want us to come on live and have certain discussion, I am open to it. Speak up, blacks, and let us as Africans also find a way to be able to support our brothers and sisters. The way to move forward, we would need people to come in. Um, Maybe the Constitution Andy will join us one day. Enlightened One will join us definitely by God's grace. Mr. Olubode Adeola and the rest. Few people will be joining us while we have this kind of conversation. With that being said, this is the best that they could give us about the Black Americans. And for me, all I can see is that there's just a systemic attack on them, and it's not helping them. And I never think that it's going to help us also as Africans. In the nearest future, we would regret if we decide not to support our brothers and sisters and welcome them to the fold of Africa, for them to be able to come back home and be part of the family that we have as Africans in general. With that being said, I will be coming back on live by 9:30 p.m. or 10, and we are going to be having a different conversation. This is not going to be about this, it's going to be a total different conversation. So if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to the channel, like and share. Let's see by 10 what's the conversation on 9:30, sorry, 9:30 p.m. African time. Let's see what today's conversation is going to be about. Have a blessed day. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, like and share. Bye bye for now. Any question, please write in my comment section. I will be responding to you. Oh, the enlightened one is there. Maliko Sondaya. I never knew you were there. Oh, well done, sir. Namaste. 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 Maybe after this we really have to chip in some things. All right. Thank you. Bye bye, everyone. Yeah.